Welcome to this version of Around Town. I'm Lori Donchak, and I'm pleased to talk today about public art in our Spanish village by the sea. We've been making great strides in bringing valuable, beautiful benefits to San Clemente. We have San Clemente street art, which nicely covers some of those big, boring utility boxes along the roads. We have some fabulous mosaic tile murals artistically appointed in our historic downtown, and we have other creative wall murals seen throughout the city. Today we're going to showcase some of this wonderful public art. By the way, local artists have been involved in creating our public art, and it's art that reflects San Clemente's traditions, our history, our culture, some of our iconic places, while telling a story of our community. So join me as we look at some of the public art that is around town today. Okay, so I'm here with Regina Hurley, who is the artist for this gorgeous box that you can find on Camino de los Mares right by the hospital. And we're surrounded by some fans who are spending their Sunday morning taking a look at the new public art in San Clemente. So first of all, Regina, thank you very much. It's gorgeous. And would you tell us a little bit about what your inspiration was and a little bit about your process?
Sure. My inspiration was the beauty that's here in San Clemente, watching the birds flying, and that's where my idea started. And I thought, well, you know, as I was drawing, I needed a little more. I didn't know where it was going to come from. Turns out I went on a whale watching trip in Dana Point and got inspired by the dolphin. We saw a lot of dolphin. We did see a whale. And so when I got home, I completed my sketch, and I just felt very pleased with what it was representing for our community, and that's how I did it. And the process, I started with my small sketch, and then I brought it up into what we call a large cartoon that fits the size in charcoal. And then I transferred my drawing onto the box, and then I painted it.
And what kind of paint do you need to use for these kind of boxes?
I'm using acrylic paint. Actually, it's called Novo, I believe. I think that was what they recommended we go to I went up to LA to get the best, the finest I could get. So that's
excellent.
It's very artistic, and it has a lot of animals in it. It's very colorful, and I like the designs on it. It's very colorful it's got a lot of light to it. It's very interesting.
Oh. And Ms. Williams, what do you think about the art you're seeing this morning?
I think it's spectacular, because I can't do a thing, and I just think it's wonderful that anybody that can do such beautiful work and have it here for everybody to see is spectacular, I think. I think the city of San Clemente is doing it wonderful.
My name's Ashley Keene, and I did the concept for Sunset at Trestles for one of the utility boxes. And I entered the contest because when I go around town and I see art out in different areas, I really am inspired by it, and I love seeing the bright colors and just the different vision that the artist has. And I always take a little bit of it home with me. And then I also live around town, and I'm always down at the beach, walking near the train tracks, and I just get so much inspiration from the waves and the different vistas and the colors, the sunsets, the surfers. Pretty much sky's the limit on what inspires me. So I did a painting of the trestles looking towards Dana Point from San Clemente, and that's what I'm going to do on the utility box, just to show my appreciation for what this city has inspired me to do, and also for public art, because I know what inspires me, so I want to be able to give back as well.
We are at the intersection of Pico and Del Cerro, and we have a phenomenal box with a pelican on it, and its artist is Mike Rivetti. Mike, thank you.
You're welcome.
And tell us a little bit about your inspiration and a little bit about the process that led to this fabulous end product.
Okay, the contest calls for the essence of San Clemente, something that really gives you that unique feeling of the special city by the sea. And collaborating with my dear wife, she thought, a pelican, something to do with the sunset would just really, she thinks of them diving down by the pier and looking for fish down at sunset time. And we thought that'd be perfect, having kind of a darker bird with a bright silhouette in the background, and then turn the sky into a mosaic, those beautiful sunsets with all the colors, and it just came together.
And in your real life, artistically, what other media do you work in?
I do quite a few things. I'm a graphic designer, so t-shirt designs, advertisements. I've done a banner, or working on a banner for Laguna Beach, a giant painting. So I pretty much do it all. I'm working on some woodcuts in my little studio right now. So ocean theme is what I'm focusing on. So a little bit of everything.
And it's great. The colors are just so gorgeous. Is it painted on top? We were talking about how this is really five-sided art.
Yeah,
it is.
You know, a tall guy could see it, but I thought it just wouldn't feel finished unless I did the top part.
Yeah.
So same thing, I'm wrapping the sunset up around the top.
Okay, and then I noticed on the side you have the pier.
Yeah.
Are there any other details that you're sensitive to that I might appreciate knowing about?
I've continued the pier all the way around, so it wraps around from one wing, and if you go to the back side, you've got the pier all the way across with another sunset, and then wraps around to the other side. As far as other details, just wanted the fish to really pop out, so I used some of the colors that were in the pelican and a little black from the bird and added some details there. And depending on which angle you look at, I've used some metallic, silvery type metallic, so it gives it a different feel depending on where you're looking and where the sun is shining.
And as you've been working over the last week, has anybody stopped to talk to you, or have you gotten any toots on the horns or
It's
thumbs
been
up?
amazing. Lots and lots of people.
Yeah.
Bikers coming by, joggers, a couple cars pull over and say be careful because it's a busy street. Business cards have been exchanged. People wanted murals, and somebody in Anaheim would like a restaurant mural painted.
Oh, excellent.
So a lot of different variety of offers of, can you do this for me? Can you paint my balcony with an ocean scene? And all kinds of interminglings and talking with really nice people.
Oh, as a city council person, that makes me feel really good because it sounds like it's a small business activator as well as a public art gift to the city.
Yeah, definitely.
So thank you. Anything else you'd like to share with us?
Yeah, just enjoyed the process. I think the city's doing a great thing, including artists, especially some local ones too, just to really bring out the vitality of everything. So.
It's absolutely gorgeous. Thank you. So I'm here with Mike Bakili, who has ridden his bicycle down to see the public art. What do you think, Mike?
It's beautiful, beautiful.
And you actually rode your bike just to see it?
Well, I was coming down here. I stopped to see that, but I have to go that way. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what do you think about the idea of painting on the utility boxes?
I think it's very nice, just making the city beautiful. Yes, yes, yeah, right. It's just nice. I saw the other day they were working on it. Is that the volunteer work or somebody pays for that, or what is it?
It's a little bit of both. The city pays for the materials, but the artists are volunteering their time to our lovely city.
Well, I wish I could volunteer, but I have absolutely no talent in art. So
I'm with you. We appreciate, right?
Right, we appreciate that.
This is the corner of Estrella and Palisada, probably one of the most busy corners in San Clemente because it's so close to the freeway and the gateway to our downtown. I'm here with artist Megan Nelson, who has done a phenomenal box, which she's going to tell us about in a minute. But first of all, Megan, tell us a little bit about you. Is this your preferred medium, and how long have you been an artist?
I've been an artist since birth. It was a passion turned career, hopefully. I just love painting, and my husband and I also own Artwistic. We do screen printing, shirts and graphics and logos, but this is really my passion. I'm hoping to get this more out in the forefront. I love painting. Keep me painting.
And tell us a little bit about the box. I see the pier.
Yes, we have a scene of the pier at sunset with some classic cars. It's one of my favorite events in San Clemente. We got a surfboard, old-fashioned Woody, a Mercury, and on the back is going to be a Corvette.
Okay. And how challenging was it working with a five-sided medium?
I had never done that before, and quite challenging. I have about 43 hours into it so far, but I've loved every minute.
Right. And Artwistic is one of my favorite art stores. Where is Artwistic in San Clemente?
Artwistic is at the north end of town. We share the parking lot with Holly's Tires and Bonded Cleaners. We've been there 6 years. My husband and I run it.
Okay, great. We love the small businesses in San Clemente, so that's excellent. And then finally, anything you'd like to tell us about the box that might escape the casual observer but would be very near and dear to the artist's heart?
Yes, actually. If you look over here on the Mercury, I'm quite proud of the bumper and the reflection of the teeth in the bumper. I spent a couple hours on that. So there's a lot of little details. I'm very detail-oriented and realism, so stop and take a look.
Very nice, gorgeous colors, and just essential San Clemente. So thank you very much.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
What Megan's got here is she's got a photograph of a Corvette. What year?
Oh, I guess 50s.
In the 50s, okay. And she's using that as inspiration. So is there anything interesting about how that process goes from taking a photograph to expanding it out?
I just make sure and keep referring to my reference. This is my reference image, so I look at this every other time I put a brush stroke down. I make sure I'm staying accurate to my picture, and I also enlarge some parts that are more detailed, so I have a better map of what I'm painting. And I just go along, and I'm really up close on my painting, so I'm just painting the colors that I see, and when you step back, it turns out to look pretty real. So.
And is there an interim process before paint where you're sketching or you're working from a template or?
Definitely. Because these are vehicles and I want to be super accurate, I did print out a large scale template and we transferred it with chalk, but I just had very basic lines. I still have to keep the integrity of the car and make it real.
This is awesome. We almost need to put a sidewalk behind here so people can see it.
I'll vote for that.
Are you getting a lot of attention as you're painting?
Definitely. I get a lot of thumbs up, a lot of, we love your work, you're awesome, we love this project, thanks for making our city pretty. It's all positive, very, very positive feedback.
This is a box that's hard to miss. It's on Camino Real at the intersection with Mariposa by CVS, Farmers and Merchants Bank, and the newly remanaged Sunrise Cafe. And I'm here with Josh, who's going to tell us a little bit about what inspired him to choose Volkswagens for his box.
I've just grown up in San Clemente when I was a kid, and whenever I thought about it, I always saw like the VW bugs with the surfboards on top, and I just really always liked that. And so every time I thought about California, that was just my San Clemente thing, was just the VW bugs. So I just thought I could put it into a box somehow and share it with San Clemente. So.
And tell me a little bit about your artistic background. What kind of qualifications do you have?
I'm going to school for graphic design right now, but mostly my drawing and painting is just from me doing it myself, so self-taught mostly.
How did you decide to be an artist? Like, were you just a kid that enjoyed it, or did
yeah,
it just...
it's surf and skate graphics and stuff like that growing up has always just been a big influence on me, and after I graduated college, I just thought I should try it at least.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about the box. How did you pick these colors, and how did you work with the 5-sided medium?
I kind of just thought of my design and thought it would go cool if they just kind of had cars on the side, and just I really wanted something bright that you could drive by and see real quick and not have to like stare at a long time to understand what it is. So.
And did you sketch it out first, or did you have a template? How did you get from zero to fabulous?
The sides I kind of just drew on by normal, because this is kind of a design that I've done a lot before, and then the front I did a little bit with pencil before I started painting.
Really, really great. Is there anything else you'd like to tell us about it that, because you're up close and personal with it, the casual observer might miss?
I don't. I just hope everybody enjoys it.
One of the things that's really interesting about this box is Josh painted it, but then he's painstakingly gone back and outlined every single image in black. So the number of hours that have gone into creating this box is really remarkable. It's really a labor of love. But every single image, even the surfboard on top of the Volkswagen Beetle, has been outlined after the fact. Michael Kelp is with us this morning. He is the president of the Downtown Business Association here in San Clemente, and he's also one of the original inspirations for a lot of the public art we're seeing around the community. Today we're going to talk about the Landmarks on Del Mar project, which was at your initiative. So why don't you tell us a little bit about how it started and what its opportunity is?
Great. Thanks so much, Lori. This is a passion of mine. I actually have a degree in fine arts and master's in landscape architecture, so this is a perfect fit for me to get involved in the public arena for art. This is a project that was started roughly 8 years ago. We got a slow start. It's very complicated to do public art on public land, so the city was an incredible partner with us. It's a 3-part project, partnered with the Historical Society, the Downtown Business Association, and the city. We had an original plan to take these existing bulb outs that were produced in the late 80s, I believe. The Downtown Business Association looked at them and thought, how could we enhance these as areas for seating that would be much more, appealing to people? So we thought possibly the public art would be a good location for this.
I'm going to stop you just for 1 minute. For those of you who may not know what a bulb out is, we're standing in one, and it's the little area that helps calm traffic, and it also gives people a place just to relax and enjoy our Spanish village by the sea. So with that,
I appreciate that. That's good, because I think bulb out is not part of most people's lexicon. So we took these areas that were fairly underutilized and thought, how can we enhance them to create a better experience and also to leave a legacy for the future, depicting artwork that will live on. We've selected historic buildings that are existing and some of those that have been lost over the years. So this memorializes them. We're standing here in front of the Cafe Calypso at the San Clemente Hotel, and we have the hotel right here. Beautiful, and on the floor plane we have the Miramar Theater. So we have probably 25 images that we've been working with. We will have, when the project is completed, there will be 14 images in all, lining the entire length of Del Mar. We have currently 6 in place, 2 more to go in hopefully this year. The newest upcoming images are of the Beach Club, which is a stellar image. The artwork just keeps getting better on these. And then also the Bartow House, which is a home that was lost in the late 70s down in the Pier Bowl area. So, give it to you.
I love how the material is capturing some of the historic icons in town. Can you talk a little bit about the color palette and the tile choices, because it just feels really, really compatible with Del Mar?
Well, given the fact that we're in an architectural overlay, we felt compelled to do things that were historically significant and correct for the period. So we hired 2 people. One, Jay Fisher, who is a prominent artist. He's a local. He grew up here in San Clemente and Laguna Beach. He is now up in the South Bay area. He has a long-term connection with this area. He is doing murals for projects around the world. So he does the initial artwork, and then Michael King, who is a local who grew up here in San Clemente, was here for 35 years, has a studio down in Carlsbad currently. He translates the visual images into tile. It's a complex process. We patterned these images after the style that was used in Avalon Bay, where I think a lot of people are familiar with the tile projects that are there.
On Catalina Island?
On Catalina Island, yes. So these are very historically correct. We've taken references from other tile projects in town here in San Clemente. So we've tried to give it its own flavor that's different from any other community.
And can you talk a little bit about how you fund these different projects, because they look like they're pretty complex?
They're complex and they're not inexpensive. Back probably 20 years ago, the city was spending a certain amount of money on the downtown for physical improvements. The number was around $15,000 a year. They're called CBD funds, Central Business District funds. And at one point, the DBA said, you know, we think we'd like to have, you know, some hand in how those monies are spent. So the city, and I think very wisely, decided, you know, we kind of live in the area and we know it so well. So they gave those funds to us. We've been using those for roughly 15 years. We need to spend that money each year, otherwise, you know, it does not roll over. So we picked a long-term project that would span probably a 10-year period, and we're into year 8. And so we use those funds each year. This is also a fundraiser for the Historical Society. The images have been sold. The images that we have in the ground to date are sold. And there's been some very charming stories that have come out of it. A woman purchased the image of the Miramar Theater, and she purchased it because her husband had passed recently, and the Miramar Theater was where they had their first date.
Oh, I love that.
A lot of layering to these images.
Okay, so in addition to being the president of the Downtown Business Association, you are also on the Planning Commission for San Clemente, and you have also been on the General Plan Advisory Committee, which is where this idea of public art has really gotten a lot of enthusiasm in the city. So given that you were part of the original discussion about should we have public art in San Clemente, what do you think are the benefits of bringing public art to town?
Well, I mean, I have a clear bias having a degree in art, so I understand the nexus between quality of life and cultural pieces that kind of weave a fabric together of what a community is. I think these do that. I think they're a particularly good approach to integrating art into what the fiber is of the community. Through the General Plan Advisory Committee and also through the Planning Commission and Design Review Subcommittee, we've encouraged on a regular basis the inclusion of public art in all the projects that we approve. I think a lot of you might be familiar with the murals that have gone in recently at the new Ralph's location on El Camino Real. There was a desire to make sure that that wall plane that faced El Camino Real energized the street, and they didn't have the ability to do windows, so I asked if they might consider some public art. They were very enthused. They were very good to work with. Those are a little different process than these. These are all hand painted. The ones that you see at the Ralph's are actually a screen process. But the images, and I want to really give thanks to the Historical Society and Mike Cotter in particular. The Historical Society has been very helpful providing images for these projects, both the landmarks on Del Mar and the other projects around town. A little deviation from what we've been doing here and on the Ralph's is the Farmers and Merchants Bank. Again, the applicant was very, very happy to include art. We picked a surf theme because we've got both the Spanish colonial revival element going here in town, but it's such a strong surf culture. So that mural is currently in place facing El Camino Real. Also at the Vista Hermosa La Plata Sports Park, back when we were reviewing that through design review, we asked for a placeholder for tile murals, trying to develop a kind of a thematic approach to public art with the tile as the kind of the delivery system, if you will. So Catherine Stovall-Dennis did those two murals. They're kind of hearkening back to a 1930s art moderne look. Catherine did a great job on those murals. So again, I think we're developing a kind of a greater context of public art and what it means to San Clemente that is so different from other communities.
Well, great, thank you very much. Is there anything else you think it would be important for us to know about public art in San Clemente or what you see in the future?
I think through this General Plan Advisory Committee, a position that I held, I've seen that there's strong support for it. So it's just really good to know that the community is embracing this kind of project, and would also like to say that if you'd like to buy an image here, I'm working on behalf of the Historical Society now, the images are available, and you do get a nice, beautiful bronze plaque on the seating area that they're located in. So with that, thank you so much for highlighting this work.
Okay, thank you. I hope you've enjoyed the program today and visit some of these sites in person to experience all their great benefits and beauty. It's a positive thing to see us celebrate what is good about San Clemente through public art. And I want to make a special thanks to all the artists who have shared their talent, their creativity, and vision for public art, as well as our city staff who has worked incredibly hard to make the public art a reality. And finally, a huge thanks to the San Clemente Art Association, specifically Pam Hill, Steve Kell, and Alan Noel, and Michael Kelp, San Clemente Planning Commissioner, for their enthusiasm and their guidance in implementing the street art program. Surely we'll be tapping their talents again in the very near future. See you on Del Mar.